Everybody, it's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another She-Hulk Attorney at Law episode review and recap. Oh wait, not a recap, just a review, but today's episode is entitled, it's episode 5, entitled Mean, Green, and Straight Poured Into These Jeans. What a title. And before I go any further, please do not forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed here already. And if you are, just hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. And please, oh please, make sure you share the video. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. We've been so close to 200 for a while. I know we're going to get to 200. And after that, guys, we're going to go to the moon. That's where we're going. We're going to the moon. 1,000, that's that 1K, that's that number, that ever elusive number. Anyway, it has come to my attention, is kind of why I don't watch a lot of reviews about this show, because I kind of already know where people are going. It feels like since the dawn of premium television, mind you, it's very hard for me, at least where I come from, is I'm a 90s kid. Sitcoms, man. We are the rerun generation. I'm talking stuff that aired a year, 2 years, 3 years before I was even born. Stuff like Nell Carter's Nell, Benson. If you want to be honest, even the stuff that we love dearly, like Transformers. I'm talking like G1, because I know dang well I'm strictly G2. I sing G2 all down, but G1 stuff even play replays, right? I'm saying, in addition to those old cartoons, and we're going to talk about old television shows, I like stuff like this. I'm going to be completely honest. I am not worried about Daredevil being, 18 episodes? Because if they do 30-minute episodes like this, that is fine. Even if you chop it up to 9 and 9, or let's just say 8 and some other number if you want to do hour-long episodes, which I'm not even going to get into Rings of Power because I'm still trying to get through those first 3 so I can give you guys a review. Pardon me. These 30 minutes is nice. And what I said earlier about people who just don't, I guess, because of premium television, I don't know. Maybe people don't like comedies. Maybe, comedy is a subjective thing. Entertainment is a subjective thing. But I am thoroughly enjoying myself. Not because I'm a Marvel shield, but because this is honestly how I saw a She-Hulk show going. A lot of court funniness, a lot of things. Look, I'm not a lawyer. I do have a small degree in political science, but not when it deals with that kind of law. I'm focused on like policies and stuff like that. And to me, this stuff seems fun. This stuff seems very funny. Pardon that I keep adjusting the camera. This thing keeps sliding. But this is funny to me. I am enjoying it deeply. And while some people think this episode is filler, which not really, you really need an episode like this. You need an episode like this because this is one of those, we're laying down some foundation, not just for She-Hulk, but for other things to come. So let's talk about cameos. I love doing my cameo stuff first. First up, within the super secret superhero Taylor guy's shop, let me move this so you can see me properly. He fussed at, I guess, the man, one of his, hate to say underlings, but he said, Tinsley, what about client confidentiality? We see the bucket that holds the yellow helmet of the Daredevil. Yes, I had to wash my Daredevil shirt or else I'll be wearing it. But yes, the Daredevil. My, oh my. It's interesting because Daredevil is still from Hell's Kitchen. As far as I know, he should be out east, which is also interesting because Kingpin was Kingpin out east? Was it snowing in Hawkeye? Might have been snowing in Hawkeye. I think that was New York. That was New York. So come on, Hawk. Come on. Hawk. Come on, Daredevil. That means he has gone across the country to a person to make something specific for what he needs. And this guy named Luke, who the way that we got here is also interesting to me. But I found it also interesting. This dude's like, yeah, what kind of powers you got? What we talking? We talking about flame resistant, water resistant. What do you need? And it's just Jen needs something that stretches and moves with her. She goes tiny, then she goes big, right? And the guy has several suits for her. Thank you. Now she can actually look like the She-Hulk from the comics, where it's like, hey, she looks really good in her suits. She doesn't just look like she's went to the big and tall section of Men's Warehouse. Which is also funny and interesting because the on-set reference for She-Hulk, her name is, and it's just in my notes, her name is Malia Araya, 6 foot tall, 6'5" model actress. If you look her up, you see that she's wearing nice stuff. How in the world can She-Hulk not find something to wear? Granted, I get it. If you fight in it, it's going to break, which we got a little hint, especially if you've seen the trailers. We get a hint that Luke also made her a little something extra, even though she's like, I'm not sure when, just say thank you. I hope to see more of this guy. He needs to be a mainstay staple within the superpowered community, not just for heroes, but for villains. Although mostly we see villains kind of make their own stuff, right? And the second cameo is Pug's sneakers. Now, this was drawn in the ending. No after credit scene, but in the ending with all the drawing showing kind of a recap of what happens sometimes in the episode. We see that Nikki is with Pugsley in his closet where he wanted to get those Iron Man 3s, and you can only get one per person, so he has her go with him. And this is the link to get to the drip broker, to get to a guy who sells knockoff Avenger stuff, the Avengers, who they had to buy stuff from. Pugsley was all in on that hammer and very fake shield to get to the real guy. And when we see in this painted thing, I wrote down as many as I could recognize that they took time to draw. We have Cyclops shoes, Deadpool, which has little Deadpool eyes, Deadpool, Thing, Captain America, the Iron Man 3s, obviously, Nova, Marvel. If you look up Marvel from the comics, it's green and white. Then there's Captain Marvel. Then there is Falcon in the red and the white, his original suit. There's Green Goblin sneaks that look like the pump ups. I hope those become real one day. Black Panther and Namor shoes. I love that Easter egg. That Easter egg was so nice. Especially seeing as soon as I saw the Cyclops shoes, I'm like, oh my God, are we saying that these guys actually exist and we're just not saying anything? I hope somewhere in this show we get a drop of like, crimes against mutant people, because there's been several mutants within the MCU's movies and shows that have appeared. Miss Marvel famously being converted into one. It's just a shame that we can't use any of the people from the Fox shows because of contracts. Contracts say you have to use the old actors and actresses, which is why we're not going to see them probably until after 2025. But we will get nice little cameos of multiverse stuff like we did with Patrick Stewart. So I would love for it to be, for all these years, and it's only 3 more years, guys. For all these years, these characters have been around. It's just, hey, we just can't talk about it, right? The overarching problem throughout this show, and I love, again, this is such a sitcom. I love how they just converge the A plot and B plots together. It's so good that, or so good. It's so interesting that Titania took the She-Hulk name basically to punish Jen because Jen punched her out. Now, I had to look up this. Why was she rampaging? Apparently, she had court for a ticket in the next room over and was going on a rampage, and that's why Jen had to sock her one. And of course, like every other social media influencer, she got off. That is very much a real thing. And just look up the Pauls. F them. Anyway, now we're in court and Jen cannot represent herself. And the only reason why this becomes an issue is because GLC, was it GLK and H? The only reason why, they have the She-Hulk, she's the head of this thing. And when the boss sees a line of booty boosters, She-Hulk booty boosters, which also on the painted drawings we see he's taking some. He wants to give his booty a boost. It creates a conflict of interest. It creates some issues. So we get Mallory Books, who is also in the same department with Nikki, with Pugsley, with Jen, aka She-Hulk, who's gonna represent her. It's a good thing she's not gonna represent herself, which is funny because when Jen's like, "I'll take care of it," and Boss is like, "No, you're not. Send her to somebody else." And while Mallory may seem kind of cold and standoffish, no, she's just professional, and that's what you need. You need someone professional. And eventually, her and Jen do have a drink together because in order to win this case, you got to find instances of where she used the name before, and Titania used her good name as like a way of making people want to buy her obviously crappy and fake products, right? And so, not only do we have when Jen finally decided to do that news interview, we also have the dating profile. Literally, I said it earlier, the title of this episode is what she put in that dating profile. I didn't write everything that she said in there, that she wrote in there, that they read out loud, but my God, it was so embarrassing. Just talking about what she said, needs strong back and a sturdy bed. Damn, that, it's funny. That is actually something I can see She-Hulk from the comics actually saying. That is a funny bit of thing that she would say. And of course we see the same doofuses that we saw. I don't think it was last episode. I think it was no, it was last episode with the guy who called her a specimen. Apparently he is a client of Mallory's, which helped spark Jen thinking, oh yeah, I did use the name to go on several dates so we can bring these people in. Brought him in, brought Otunga in, who after the whole thing was done went out with Titania, and she's like, buy me things, which her hair looks horrible, y'all. That is a bad wig. That is one thing I have to say. If that is actually her real hair, sorry, that wig looked bad. I mean, she looks nothing like the comics one, which, okay, whatever, that's fine. But they could have done something more with the hair. Whatever. We have this other guy, the guy who tries to pretend that he's like, oh, even ladies love me. I pay attention, because he recalled when Jen says she's growing into liking the She-Hulk name because it's a part of who she is. And then you have the guy that, She-Hulk actually slept with, where, it was confirmed, like, yeah, I connected with She-Hulk, but, Jen, I'm very sorry to say she's just not my type. Which you just feel for Jen, because eventually she has to understand that she's not like Bruce. It's not like here's Jen and here's She-Hulk. Now, being She-Hulk in the comics more or less made her more adventurous, made her more confident in herself, than when she never wanted to revert to her regular self. But she is one and the same. That's just that extra boost and all that is just a result of becoming a superpowered person. But you're one and the same, and especially in the MCU, I really hope she finally comes to understand herself. I can see. I've seen the mid-season trailers for the rest of the episodes. We know Daredevil's coming. I really look forward to him being a mentor to her, because, hey, I'm a lawyer, you're a lawyer, we both fight crime. I'm going to show you how you can still be yourself while at the same time, be all parts of yourself and not reject those certain parts of yourself, because that's how you end up with nightmare Hulks, like the giant spider ones in the 90s. And I won't even get into that one. But yeah, as they're going out, and like I said earlier, they become friends, because she says, look, first of all, she commended her on being able to just put her private life out there just to win a case. But Mallory also said, you know what, I wrote this down. She said, you deserve better and you can do better. Regardless of what that attractive, good-looking man said, you deserve better and you can do better. And when she asked her out to a drink, they have a drink. She has a drink as Jen, which really shows you that I like how they highlight how small Jen Walters actually is. but they bond over the fact that even though she's super powered, there's still, still men out there that's like, oh, you still don't know anything, or I can do better than you, superhuman lady. Which, if you're gonna get mad at that, that is still dipping into the real world. It doesn't matter how successful an individual, not even just women, just an individual can be. There's gonna be someone who says, oh, I can still do better than you, which is, I am not that kind of YouTuber, but yeah, there can be discussions about that to the end of time. We get a little hint. Luke initially took her as a client because he thought, oh, she's an Avenger. She's not an Avenger yet, but she's literally a blood cousin to Bruce Banner. This is the type of person that this fashion guy wants. Black fashion guy too. Awesome. Apparently being mean is what fashion people do, which is what Nikki said. Nikki seems to be up on this. I also like the fact that Pugsley and Nikki already have a bit of a rapport. The fact that he can ask her to, he even says, I'm gonna cut the crap, not be, try to pretend like I'm here just for small talk. I need your help with these shoes. Cool. I have a favor. I can give you a favor with interest. That's how this works. And he accepts it. I like that friendship. I like seeing these interactions because now, people, someone's still going to forget this episode, especially people that say it's filler. And because somewhere down the line is going to be like, well, how are they so close? They're close because obviously the passage of time has gone by and they have built relationships with the people that they work with. What else is on my docket? Also, let's talk about Jen's cousin Chet, because he wanted her to sign She-Hulk things because he thought it was her brand and stuff so he can sell it, and she had to say, no, this woman, trademarked my name. He's super douchey. Like the whole mansplaining how trademark works to an actual lawyer is, I get what you guys are going for. You're going to have to dial down the slime on this guy a little bit. If not, can Jen smack him or throw him in the air once to make him shut the hell up? Because I'm kind of over this character. I would rather see more of her dad, because dad is not as bad as her mom. I'd rather see more's dad, because outside of him and Bruce, Mr. Perfect Strangers and Mr. Apartment 21, watch Mark Ruffalo movies, y'all. Not with children in the room. If you have kids, just outside of 13 going on 30, Mark Ruffalo does some very adult movies. Those are only two people that seem to have good interactions with her outside of Nikki. Nikki gets 2 claps from me because that's a good friend. She dialed in her favor instantly with Pugsley because he says, oh, he knows the drip broker, dude that can make clothes for superhero people too. She's like, I'm gonna do this for my friend because she needs better suits. She needs to stop looking like, in Mallory's own words, she looks like a football player going to fight a DUI charge. That was hilarious. And yeah, she does. Those suits look really bad. So hopefully she looks better, not just for work, but for her outside of work stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Now, was this episode revolutionary? No, not at all. Was this episode... This episode did move some things. Because one, now we don't have to wait like until second to last episode where something happens and she needs a suit. No, it's like, hey, here is a suit. She has a suit on. I appreciate that type of stuff. That formula is kind of getting old. They did that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You don't have to do. They did it with Hawkeye. You don't have to keep doing that. Mid-season, they can get the suit and put it away for later. Another thing to note, there's no female jealousy with Jen and Nikki towards Mallory, because when they see her and she was wearing this black and white, very nice black and white outfit, they were saying she is impeccable. Like, where does she shop? Probably someplace with a valet, which is funny. So things to note. Yeah. that is all. That is all I have on my docket. Now, what do I give this episode? I gotta give it a 3 out of 5. Probably give it a 3.5 at the highest. It's average, but it's good. Like, sometimes you need an episode where you can put something in the background while you're doing stuff. I struggle to find stuff. Like, if I see something where it's like, I should pay attention to this so I can do a review on it, so now I can't play in the background. But I do have fun stuff that I love. Old Dragon Ball Z stuff. I always will put on any of the Iron Man movies. Iron Man 3, I will actively half pay attention to. All the Spider-Man movies, any Spider-Man movie, you need stuff like that. You need television like that. Scrubs, one of my favorite shows. You need shows and episodes like that where you can just be like, hey, here is a fun thing. And this episode, while not super revolutionary, it does show, like, okay, Jen / She-Hulk is acknowledging some of her shortcomings, but she has people that are telling her, hey, you're a pretty great person. You will find someone that loves both sides of you. So with that, I would love to know what you guys thought of the episode down below. This episode wasn't terrible. And actually, it was pretty funny. I do think it is a bit of a misstep that they didn't have like any, well, at least as of right now, any cameos or stuff from Ally McBeal. Told you I was a 90s kid. Oh my god, if they had Night Court reference, like Night Court, someone from Night Court or someone from Ally McBeal show up in this show, I will spare you because I will not sing the Night Court theme, but if you know it, it's in your head now, isn't it? Dun, dun, dun. As always, thank you for taking some time out to listen to me. Please be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask. Do not forget, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, hit the notification bell even if you aren't, and sharing is caring. Make sure you share these videos for all people to see. It's your buddy Shane. Hey, if you guys want to know any information about any Marvel character, whether MCU, comic book, alternate comic books, Not in Line with 616, anime television show, I'm open to all suggestions. Just leave a comment down below. I would love to engage and talk with you all. As always, be good to yourself, be good to your others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. Realize that you are not alone, and just have a good day, y'all. I will definitely see you next time. Smashing.